Hi everyone, in this video I will be talking you through the best budget cubes of the year 2020. Before we get started, I just want to say a couple of things about how this video is going to work. All the information about all the cubes is based on either my own experiences or others that I have extensively researched about on YouTube and occasionally some other places on the internet. I will post in the description links to what I think are the best extensive reviews for each of the cubes mentioned, because I will only briefly be going over each of them. Also, all the prices that I mention on the slides will just be the cost of these cubes on Cubes UK, which is my personal preference for buying cubes. So I will post a link to their website in the description if you would like to buy any of the cubes mentioned. Okay, let's get started, first with 2x2. For this category, I have chosen the Qi MS 2x2. I own this 2x2 and it's really good for the price. At only £7, it's a very good deal. It turns very nicely, and I'd say the main issue with it is just that it corner twists sometimes, but it's not too big of an issue. It has very strong magnets and is available in both stickerless, which you can see in the image, and black plastic. It was released in the beginning of this year. Here you can hear it as I have the cube with me now. It's not very quiet. If you want a quieter cube, then this one probably isn't the best for you. Okay, moving on to 3x3. For this, I've chosen the Moyu MFJS RS3M 2020. Quite a mouthful. It's £10. It has very light magnets, which some people say isn't good, so you may wish to add magnets to these. And I'll come back to this later with another option that means you do not have to add magnets if you prefer it a bit stronger. It's only available in stickerless, so if you like black cubes only, then this isn't really the one for you. But it has great performance. It was released this year, as of course suggested by the name. Next we have 4x4. For this I've chosen the YJ MGC 4x4. It was released this year, along with a couple of other MGC cubes, which I will talk about more later. It's £17, so a pretty good deal, especially compared with something like the AOSU WRM, which tends to be considered the best 4x4. I have it, it's great, but many people even prefer the MGC over that, which is saying a lot, seeing as the AOSU is a lot more expensive. It has medium outer magnets, strong inner magnets, so if you're into light magnets on big cubes, this isn't for you. It's available in stickerless and black, as you can see in the image. For 5x5, I've chosen the YJ MGC 5x5. So, second in the MGC line we have here, £18, medium outer magnets, strong inners, so reminiscent of the 4x4. Available in stickerless, as you can see in the image, and I have the black plastic. Here you can listen to it. It's very smooth, particularly on the outside layers. Here's the inner layers. Obviously, I have lubed this cube, so it won't sound quite like that when brand new, but yeah, it can be made to be really smooth and really nice with a bit of setting up. And yes, it was released this year, like the 4x4 was. Okay, yet another MGC cube for 6x6. It's £20, so this is the most expensive actually out of all the cubes in this list, but totally worth it. It's the best 6x6, even though it's under £20, which is just amazing. The cubes that even get close to it are a lot more expensive, so this is totally worth it. Even if you're just getting into 6x6, it might seem a bit expensive, but trust me, it's worth it. It has light outer magnets, medium middle inners, and strong center inners, so basically just getting stronger towards the middle. Available in stickerless and black, like all the MGC cubes, and released in early 2020 with the 5x5. Now for the 7x7. For this, I've chosen the YJ Yufu V2M. You might have expected I would choose the MGC, however, this is quite a lot more expensive, at £30. So this is actually half the price of that. But the Yufu is such a good cube. It's really cheap and turns very smoothly, and it's quite a solid cube, although can occasionally experience popping issues. Has light to medium outer magnets, and all the inner ones are very strong. I again have this cube, so if you want to listen, here's the outer layers. That's the outers, and then the medium inners. Oh, there you go, I got a bit of a pop. And the middle inners. There. It's a really solid cube. I definitely recommend this, especially to beginners. Such a good 7x7, especially for the price. A little bit older than the other cubes I've mentioned, it was released last year. Okay, on to the side events. First up we have Pyraminx. The Qi MS Pyraminx is a really good option for a beginner. At £9, it has medium magnets and quite light tips. Some people prefer it stronger, but there really isn't a Pyraminx that's just quite as good as this for such a cheap price. Available in stickerless and black, and it was released this year. For Skewb, we have the Mouyu Aoyan M. This Skewb is quite interesting because it has, as you can see in the image, extra center caps with dimples on for grip assistance. I'll come on to another Skewb later in the special mentions, but yeah, this is a really good Skewb. It's, I think, the oldest in this list of cubes, released in late 2018. It's available in stickerless and black, and it has medium strength magnets. For Square One, I've chosen the Yushin Little Magic Square One M. Quite a long name. It's just under £10. It has very light magnets, which some people will prefer the Volt, which I have, the X-Man Volt V2. However, that is double the price and not much better. So I would go with this, especially if you are a beginner. It's available in stickerless and stickerless black, meaning the yellow side on the bottom is actually black. It was released in 2019. Here we have the Megaminx category with the YJ Yuhu V2M. It's £12, has medium magnets, and is only available in stickerless. There is an extra option, well, not option, but pack you can buy, which has black pieces instead of grey, which would be opposite white. This is preferred by some people as it creates better contrast. However, you will have to glue in the magnets to the black pieces and take apart some of the pieces in this puzzle. So it might be best to stick with this, especially if you're not used to modifying puzzles at all. It was released this year to great acclaim by many, and by some people is even used as their mains, even if they have a more expensive Megaminx. Finally, on to clock. I've chosen the Shengshou Magnetic Clock, which is £10 and has medium strength magnets. It comes in the typical blue colour for clock, so light blue on one side and dark blue on the other, and it was released this year. It was only the first mass-produced magnetic clock. However, although okay for beginners, it's not great. It's very stiff and requires lubing to become properly usable. Let's get on to the special mentions. For 3x3, I have done the extra cube of the Qi MS 3x3. In the same line as the 2x2 I mentioned earlier, it's very cheap and very high performing. The reason I've added this in is even though people tend to prefer the RS3M, it's cheaper and also it doesn't have such light magnets. So many people would prefer to have this as it means they don't have to buy extra magnets to make it strong enough for their liking. I have added the Qi X-Man Wingy Skewb also because it's the only other magnetic Skewb along with the Aoyan, which I mentioned earlier, and is a bit cheaper. So if you want to save a bit of money, you might want to get this. Finally, I have the Qi Magnetic Clock. As I was just saying, the Shengshou Magnetic Clock isn't actually that great, especially because it needs a lot of setting up to be decent. The Qi Magnetic Clock is a lot more expensive, however, is much better out the box and is just considered way better than all the other clocks by many solvers. As an extra, I've done a budget series of the year. I've chosen the MGC series. As you might have noticed, I mentioned a lot of them earlier. It includes 2x2 all the way to 7x7 and also a Megaminx. All of these are under £30, so a really great value. The big cubes have got a lot of praise, from 4x4 to 7x7. As you saw earlier, I included the 4x4 all the way to the 6x6 as the best budget ones, and only didn't include the 7x7 since it was quite a lot more expensive. Thanks everyone for watching this video. I hope you found it either entertaining or informative. If you are a beginner cuber, or you just don't have some of these events yet, I'd highly recommend getting any of the cubes mentioned. Please remember to give this video a like if it was useful to you or entertaining in some way, and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos I post. They will now be in HD, unlike before when they were in 4:3 and really low quality. I've got the new microphone, as you may have noticed, my voice sounds very clear. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.